Millions of people will drive to work tomorrow morning, deeply believing they are perfectly safe, even though the exact job they are doing is mathematically guaranteed to disappear. So why do we fiercely cling to a financial strategy that has already expired? Picture a perfectly normal Tuesday afternoon in the year 2026. You are a dedicated mid-level manager. You have given a decade of your life to a massive corporation. You are sitting at your desk when an automated email suddenly appears in your inbox. The subject line says, "Corporate Restructuring." The email politely explains that your department has been entirely eliminated by an artificial intelligence algorithm. For most people, this is the exact moment their entire financial universe violently collapses. Their heart pounds, their throat tightens. They wonder how they will pay the mortgage next month. But you do not panic. You read the email, you calmly close your laptop, and you smile. You are completely unfazed because your monthly cash flow already far exceeds the salary you just lost. A brilliant, entirely invisible trap has just been executed right in front of you. We are taught from childhood that a stable 9-to-5 job is the ultimate financial fortress. We believe that if we trade our time and our brainpower for a paycheck, we will be protected from the chaos of the world. But in 2026, relying on a traditional job for your survival is no longer playing it safe. It's a countdown to obsolescence. You think your corporate job is a safety net, but actually, you are playing a game of musical chairs in an economy where half of the seats were just permanently removed. Most people disagree about this. If you ask traditional career advisors, they will tell you the solution is simply to go back to school, get another degree, and become utterly indispensable to your employer. Some technologists argue the exact opposite. They point out that automation is aggressively hollowing out the white-collar middle class, making human indispensability a complete illusion. Here's where people are split. Is artificial intelligence just a tool that will make us more productive? Or is it a machine designed to entirely replace us? People don't make bad financial decisions. They respond to the environment around them. And your environment aggressively trains you to fight an unwinnable war. When you rely on a salary, your income is intrinsically fragile. It is perfectly linear. It is strictly capped at a number of hours you can physically stay awake. If you get sick, if you burn out, or if you simply stop typing, the money immediately stops flowing. But corporations are highly optimized machines. They do not feel empathy. They do not care about your loyalty. When a CEO realizes that a software program can do your job for $0 without ever requesting a sick day or calling human resources, the spreadsheet is instantly optimized. Your salary is not permanent wealth. It's a month-to-month lease on your livelihood, and the landlord is preparing to cancel the lease. But the real reason this transition is so devastating is much stranger. Look at a paycheck from a completely different economic position. The economic divide of the future is no longer between the employed and the unemployed. It's between those who rent out their time and those who own productive systems. The wealthy do not rent out their time. They know that competing against a machine on an hourly basis is financial suicide. So instead, they employ synthetic employees. A synthetic employee is an asset, a system, or a piece of capital that works 24 hours a day. It never sleeps. It never ages. It relentlessly generates cash whether the owner is sick, on vacation, or forcibly retired by an algorithm. To replace a dying salary, you must fundamentally change how you generate value. The people who calmly close their laptops during a massive layoff have built 3 distinct automated escape routes. They begin by deploying capital into cash-flowing real estate. They buy the physical ground that society stands on. They know that no matter what software is invented or which corporate department is automated, human beings will always need a physical place to sleep, eat, and operate. Real estate is a synthetic employee that collects rent on the first of the month, completely immune to the digital revolution. Next, They build high-yield dividend portfolios. Instead of trading their time for one fragile corporate paycheck, they buy fractional ownership of the most profitable corporations on Earth. This allows the labor of thousands of other people and the efficiency of millions of machines to securely deposit cash into their accounts every single quarter. They transition from being a vulnerable human resource to being the owner of the algorithm itself. Finally, they construct automated digital assets. They build software, media, and digital products that rely on the frictionless scale of the internet. They create a system once, and the architecture of the web allows it to be sold 1,000,000 times while they sleep. The biggest financial advantage isn't intelligence, it's which game you're playing. The middle class is playing a game of single-source survival. They are terrified of corporate automation because their entire financial existence hinges on a single fragile wage. The wealthy are playing a game of systemic redundancy. They decouple their income from their human output. Let's slowly reveal the invisible forces holding the traditional system together. The incentives of the corporate world are meticulously designed to demand 100% of your energy. By keeping you utterly exhausted, they ensure you never have the mental bandwidth left on the weekends to build these outside streams of income. Your exhaustion is their ultimate retention strategy. The structures of society tie your healthcare, your identity, and your social status directly to your job title, making the idea of building independent wealth feel terrifying and taboo. The social pressures of your peers convince you that buying assets is incredibly risky, while blindly relying on a single boardroom spreadsheet is somehow viewed as the safe, responsible choice. And the probabilities dictate a ruthless, undeniable truth. Over a long enough timeline, manual and cognitive human labor will almost always be replaced by a more efficient system. The machine relies entirely on you trading your time. The people who are absolutely blindsided by layoffs and lose everything to automation did not fail the system. They followed the system perfectly. They did exactly what the economy required them to do. They prioritized the illusion of safety over the reality of ownership. They traded their prime biological years to build an empire for someone else, leaving themselves completely exposed to the elements. Wealth is often less about effort and more about position. If you position yourself directly beneath a single corporate spigot, your effort will constantly be dictated by the hand that turns the valve. You will work 50 hours a week for decades, completely unaware that a single line of code can turn the water off forever. But if you position yourself as the owner of synthetic systems, the entire power dynamic flips. You no longer operate out of fear. You walk into the office knowing that the paycheck is simply a bonus, not a lifeline. You stop taking toxic stress. You negotiate differently. You stop treating your job like it is your entire identity. You start treating it like a temporary tool. It is simply the raw material used to aggressively fund your escape routes. The hidden rule of modern wealth is that true financial security is not about how much your primary job pays today. It is about aggressively building engines that will continue to feed your family even if your employer goes bankrupt tomorrow. The era of the safe full-time job is quietly ending. The music is stopping. The chairs are being removed. The only question is what you will own when you are finally asked to stand up.